Like I mentioned, we'll get started standing. If you prefer to sit or lay down, feel free to do so. If you are standing at the front of your mat, feet hips distance, all 10 toes point forward. Hands can rest by the sides, palms face up in Hasta Mudra for more receiving practice today, or palms simply at heart center. So find what feels good in your body and we'll get started there. Once you find the standing posture or seated of your choice, gently draw your eyes closed. We'll take the next couple moments to allow ourselves to arrive in our practice. Maybe you begin to gently shift your weight forward and back, feeling the ground beneath your feet, allowing yourselves to begin to arrive in your body. Eventually, slow down the rocks until you come to a nice standing posture. Crown of the head lifts up towards the ceiling as the back body lengthens upwards. Relax the face, soften the chest, the belly. Eventually begin to tune into your breath. Can you feel the inhales and exhales in your body? Give yourself a couple moments to turn your gaze inwards, to bring feeling the breath to the forefront of your awareness. Gently release all that has happened this week, even this morning, and truly allow yourself to begin to arrive here and now. Maybe you take a couple consciously deep breaths, breathing in and out, lengthening every inhale and exhale. Just really allowing yourself to arrive. Again, just allow the mind to transition to the body. Feel the entirety of your inhales and exhales and take the next couple of moments to simply anchor yourself in the breath. As you're here, feel free to come up with a dedication for your practice today. So what would you like to dedicate your practice to? Maybe you send your energy to a person, a friend, a stranger. Maybe you're sending it to a project you're working on. Maybe it could be something totally different. Take another big breath or two before we begin to flow. Once you feel anchored in your breath, gently draw your eyes open and bring your hands by the sides if they aren't already there. Take another big breath or two, feeling the inhales and exhales with the eyes open. As we flow, our goal is to stay connected with the breath, to find that union between the mind and the body. Whenever your next inhale arises, hands sweep out and around, palms touch at the top. Exhale, hands come down to heart center. We'll do that 2 more times. Follow your own breath. So inhale, big sweep out and around, palms touch. Exhale, hands draw down. Once more, inhale, reach it on out and around, palms touch. Exhale, hands draw down. Beautiful. On your next inhale, hands sweep out and around. When you get to the top, grasp your right hand around your left wrist. Exhale, shoulders relax down the back body. Inhale, crown of the head pulls up, lengthen your back, and then exhale, can you tip it on over toward the right-hand side? We'll pause here for a couple of big breaths. Notice we're staying controlled. Almost imagine as though there's a wall, like waist high next to you, that you're trying to go up and over rather than crash into. Take about 1 or 2 more breaths here. Breathe deeply. Low belly pulls in. On your next inhale, come back to center, both hands touch. Exhale, switch your grip and then peel it on over to the left-hand side. Again, we'll pause for a couple of big breaths, really relax the shoulders down the back body and press down through that right heel. So shift that weight over to the right slightly. You can look towards the ground, up towards the side wall, whatever works for your neck. Relax your jaw as much as possible. 1 more big breath here. Inhale, come back up to center, palms touch. Exhale, hands to heart center, down by the sides. If you need to shake your arms off, feel free to do so. On your next inhale, hands sweep out and around, palms touch at the top. Exhale, bow down to the feet. Inhale, rise up halfway, pull the heart forward. Exhale, step your feet back to plank pose, and then lower your knees down, the chest, and then the chin, so the booty will be up towards the sky. On your next inhale, pull your heart forward, lift it up, low cobra. Exhale, down dog, so tabletop, curl the toes under, press it up and back, downward facing dog. We'll pause here for about 5 big breaths. If you'd like to pedal out your feet or shift the weight forward and back side to side, feel free to do so. Just begin to warm up the body in this posture, add some sort of movement as we begin to open the backs of the legs. Keep your breath at the forefront of your awareness, so continue to breathe, inhaling and exhaling from the low belly. 2 more big breaths here. Great job. 1 more breath. On your next inhale, either walk or step your feet all the way up to your hands. Once you get to the top of your mat, rise up halfway, pull the heart forward. Exhale, fold to the feet. Inhale, soft bend in the knees, rise up, flat back, hands sweep out and around, palms touch at the top. Exhale, hands through heart center and down by the sides. Great job. Inhale, hands sweep out and around, palms touch. Exhale, bow to the feet. Inhale, rise up halfway, pull the heart forward. On your exhale, only step your left foot back behind you and then drop the knee down, uncurl the toes. Inhale, hands sweep out and around, palms touch at the top. Exhale, bring those hands to the hips. So put the hands on the hips. Bring your mind's eye to the hips. If it feels like one hip is kind of pulling back and the other's more forward, see if you can square them off like headlights on a car, both hips facing forward. On your next inhale, can you pull the crown of the head up towards the ceiling? We're going to begin to activate the legs. Press down through your front heel. So really press it down to the ground and imagine like you want to drag it back behind you. Same thing with that back knee. Press it down. Imagine like you want to drag it forward. You'll instantly feel the legs begin to work here. Low belly pulls in. Couple of big breaths. Should be getting a nice stretch on the front of that left thigh. Keep pulling the low belly in and up. Crown of the head reaches up. Let's take 2 more big breaths. Legs are working here. 1 more big breath. Beautiful. Inhale, hands sweep out and around, palms touch at the top. Exhale, hands come down, frame that front foot, step that front knee back. Your choice if the knees stay down or lift them up. On your exhale, lower down, Chaturanga Dandasana. Inhale, low cobra. Maybe it's an up dog, straightening the arms, lifting the knees. Exhale, pressing those hips on back, downward facing dog. Pause here for about 5 big breaths. We're beginning to add some heat in the body, so breathe deeply. Even out those inhales and exhales. Continue to press down through the hands. Drive the heels towards the mat. Breathe deeply. Let's take 2 more big breaths here. 1 more breath. You got it. On your next inhale, left foot only steps up between the hands. Exhale, back knee drops down, toes uncurl. Inhale, sweep those hands out and around, palms touch at the top. Exhale, hands to the hips. So again, feel your hips. If it feels like one hip is further back than the other, try to even them out. So you're slightly pressing that right hip forward and pulling that left hip back. All right, we're gonna begin to activate. So front heel presses down. Imagine like you're trying to ripple up your mat beneath you. So it drags back. Back heel presses down, drags forward. Crown of the head lifts as the low belly sucks in and up. Couple big breaths here. Breathe deeply. Again, should feel those legs working and a nice stretch on the front of that right thigh. 2 more big breaths. 1 more, you got it. Beautiful. Inhale, hands sweep out and around, palms touch. Exhale, hands come down, frame the front foot. On your inhale, curl your back toes under and pop on up to the front of your mat. Rise up halfway once you get there. Exhale, fold to the feet. Inhale, come all the way up to standing. Sweep the hands out and around, palms touch at the top. Exhale, hands through heart center, down by the sides. 1 more flow like that. Inhale, big sweep out and around. Exhale, bow down, follow your prayer. Inhale, rise up halfway, pull the heart forward. This time on the exhale, left foot only steps back. Keep the knee lifted up off the ground. High lunge, reach on up towards the ceiling. Palms touch at the top. On your exhale, right hand rests around left wrist, just like we did while standing. Can you begin to peel on over toward the right hand side? So we're coming into this side stretch now in high lunge. Bring your mind's eye to the hips, though your hands are not on them. Can you press that left hip forward, right hip draws back. Sink down into the front knee, low belly pulls in and up. That back knee is pressing up towards the ceiling. 2 more big breaths. Really stretch it on over to the right-hand side. 1 more breath. Great job. Inhale, back to center, palms touch. Exhale, hands frame that front foot, step it on back, lower yourself down to the mat. Inhale, upward facing dog. Exhale, press it on back, down dog. 5 big breaths here. Breathe deeply, stay connected with your breath. Notice where your mind is going and use this time to connect back within if your mind has escaped you. Feel your inhales and exhales. Notice what's going on in your body right now. 2 more big breaths. Really press down through the hands, knees, thighs, drive towards the wall behind you. On your next inhale, left foot steps up between your hands. High lunge on this side, so find your balance, then rise on up. Palms touch at the top. On your exhale, left hand grasps around right wrist. Relax the shoulders down the back body and peel on over toward your left-hand side now. Again, we're really sinking down into that front knee. Bring your mind's eye to the hips. Right hip presses forward, left hip draws back, low belly pulls in and up. Breathe deeply, back thigh, back knee is really pressing up towards the ceiling. 2 more big breaths. Stretching out the side body here. 1 more big breath. Inhale, up to center, palms touch. Exhale, hands down by your front foot. Inhale, pop it on up to the front of your mat. Rise up halfway. Exhale, fold to the feet. Coming on up to standing, so inhale, hands sweep out and around, palms touch at the top. Exhale, hands to heart center, down by the sides. Great job. Moving through a variation of Sun B. On your next inhale, sink it on down to chair pose. So the hips sink back, hands sweep up. Look down, make sure you can see your toes. Shift the knees back. Big breath here. Exhale, palms touch, fold on down to the feet, straighten the legs. Inhale, rise up halfway, pull the heart forward. Exhale, step those feet back behind you, plank pose. Lower yourself down to the mat. Inhale, upward facing dog. Exhale, down dog. On your next inhale, step your right foot up between your hands. Pause here, continue to breathe. We're gonna move into warrior 1. So let's take a moment to find the proper alignment. Step your back foot in enough so your back heel can come down to the mat. Now take a look at your back toes. The big toe on your back foot should point towards the left front corner of your mat. So there's a slight pivot in the heel. Heels are aligned, so if you were to draw a line from the front heel to the back, it would intersect. Once you find that, add a soft bend to your front knee, and on an inhale, hands sweep up. Warrior 1. So again, we're gonna add a significant bend to the knee so the knee stays stacked over the ankle. Bring your mind's eye to the hips. You want to feel like that left hip is pressing forward, right hip's drawing back. So just like we did in that low lunge when we put the hands on the hips, we really want the hips pointing forward. Low belly pulls in and up, crown of the head lifts up towards the ceiling. 2 more big breaths. 1 more. On your next inhale, straighten your front leg, just a soft bend in the knee. Exhale, can you reach it on forward, lower the torso to parallel with the ground. Inhale, come on back up. 2 more like that. Exhale, reach it on forward. Inhale, come on up. 1 more. Exhale, reach it on forward. Inhale, come on up. This time we're gonna reach forward and hold. So exhale, reach it on forward. Pause for a couple of big breaths. Keep drawing that right hip back, pressing the left hip forward. Kneecap lifts up towards the hips. 2 more big breaths. 1 more, you got it. Inhale, come on back up. Exhale, bend that front knee. Hands come down to frame the front foot. Step the feet on back, plank pose, and lower yourself down towards the mat. Inhale, upward facing dog. Exhale, press it on back, down dog. Take a big breath in your downward facing dog. On your next inhale, left foot steps up between your hands. Okay, we're gonna find that alignment for warrior 1 again. So step your back foot up slightly, so much so that you can drop that back heel down. Your front bit, your big toe on your back foot points towards the front right corner of your mat now. Once you have that alignment, follow an inhale to softly bend that front knee. Hands lift up, warrior 1, other side. So again, we're working to keep the thigh parallel to the ground, the front thigh. So find where you can, maybe you have to scoot your foot forward a bit, but find where that works in your body. Couple big breaths here. Press that right hip forward, left hip draws back so they're parallel to the short edge of your mat. Breathe deeply, you got this. 2 more big breaths. Warrior 1, crown of the head pulls up towards the ceiling. On your next inhale, straighten that front leg. Keep a soft bend in the knee though. On your exhale, reach it on forward, torso parallel with the ground. Inhale, come on up. 2 more times, then we hold. Exhale, reach it on forward. Inhale, lift. 1 more. Exhale, reach it on forward. Inhale, lift. Using the strength of your core. On your next exhale, lower down. We're going to pause for a couple big breaths. Breathe deeply. Continue to draw that left hip back. Right hip presses forward. Low belly pulls in towards the spine. 1 more big breath here. Beautiful. Inhale, come on up. Exhale, bend that front knee. Hands come down to frame that front foot. Step that front foot back behind you. Lower yourself down towards the mat. Inhale, upward facing dog. Exhale, press it on back, down dog. Pause for your 5 big breaths here. So breathe deeply. Come back to the breath. Notice how you're feeling. You may be feeling heat in the body, and that's okay. Breathe through it. Full breaths all the way to the low belly. Let's take about 3 more breaths here. Really press the ground away through the hands. Heels drive down as the knees press towards the wall behind you. 1 more breath. On your next inhale, step those feet on up between the hands, rise up halfway, pull the heart forward. Exhale, fold to the feet. Chair pose 1 more time. Inhale, bend the knees, sweep those hands up. Exhale, palms touch to heart center. Gently close the eyes as you stand. Let's take a couple moments to just check in real quick before we move on. Notice where you're at. Maybe you can feel the heartbeat in the chest at this point. Breathe deeply. Notice how you're feeling. Take a couple moments to simply be in your body and with your breath. Let everything else go. On your next inhale, gently peel the eyes open. Exhale. Inhale, sweep the hands out and around, palms touch at the top. Exhale, bow to the feet. Inhale, rise up halfway, pull the heart forward. Exhale, step your feet on back, plank position, lower yourself towards the mat, Chaturanga Dandasana. Inhale, upward facing dog. Exhale, press those hips up and back, down dog. Inhale, step your right foot up between the hands. Okay, so we're gonna come to triangle pose. When we do so, on your exhale, spin that back heel down so your back foot's parallel to the short edge of the mat. Front heel intersects your back arch if you were to draw a line. Inhale, cartwheel the hands up, warrior 2. On your next, so exhale, inhale, straighten that front leg. Okay, so this is how we get into triangle. On your exhale, we're gonna reach those fingertips forward. So you're gonna reach it on forward and then lower your hand to somewhere on that straight front leg. Your back hand's gonna reach up towards the ceiling. Your choice, you can look down towards the mat, over towards the side wall, or up towards your hand reaching up towards the sky. Pause for a couple of big breaths. Keep drawing that left hip towards the wall behind you. Breathe deeply. Low belly pulls in and up and lean on back. 2 more big breaths. 1 more. On your next inhale, come on up. Exhale, bend that front knee, cartwheel the hands back down. Front foot steps back, lower yourself down towards the ground. Inhale, upward facing dog. Exhale, down dog. Pause for a big breath. On your next inhale, step your right foot up again, and then come on up, high lunge. On the exhale, we're gonna open up warrior 2 again, so back heel spins down, add a bend to that front knee. Now we're gonna flip to the back edge of your mat. So inhale, straighten that front leg, then the front toes parallel with the short edge of the mat, or the outside edge of your foot, short edge of the mat, and then you're gonna spin your back toes to point towards the wall behind you, okay? So we're gonna end up facing that wall, but we're coming into triangle pose on this side. So take a look down, that back foot, so your left foot, that heel should be intersect with your back arch. Reach those hands out and then tip it on forward. So you're gonna reach and then set the hand somewhere on that back leg and then reach your right hand up towards the sky. Pause for a couple big breaths. Breathe deeply, continue to press that right hip back, kneecaps lift up towards the hip points. 2 more big breaths. 1 more breath. Great job. Inhale, come on up. Exhale, soft bend to that left knee. Now spiral your hands down, frame that front foot, back heel lifts, and then step your foot back to meet the right one. Exhale, lower yourself down towards the mat. Inhale, upward facing dog. Exhale, down dog. So at this point, we're facing the backs of our mats. Take a big breath or 2. Similar flow on the other side. This time we're gonna work towards revolved triangle pose or revolved Trikonasana. On your next inhale, step your left foot up between your hands. So we're gonna find the same stance as warrior 1. So step that back foot in enough so the heel can come towards the ground and the right big toes pointing toward the right back edge of your mat. When you're ready, find an inhale to come on up. Both hands come up at a soft bend to your front knee. So at this point, if you want to check, hands can come to the hips. The hips should be square and parallel to the back edge of your mat. From here, inhale, begin to straighten your left leg. So both legs are working towards straight. Let's reach those hands out to a T shape. On your exhale, right hand's gonna come across the body and set somewhere on that left leg. So we're revolving, we're twisting. That left hand then is gonna point up towards the ceiling. And we'll pause here for a couple big breaths. If you need to find your balance, find somewhere to look on the ground that's not gonna move on you. And we'll breathe deeply here for a couple big breaths. 2 more breaths. 1 more big breath. All right, look down towards the ground, and on your inhale, come back up, add a soft bend to that front knee. So a modified version of warrior 2. We're gonna flip towards the front of the mat now. So on your next inhale, switch your feet, pivot, 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 pivot. Right toes point towards the front of the mat. Back big toe is gonna point towards that front left corner of the mat. Straighten your right leg. We're gonna come to the revolved version on this side now. So when you're ready, arms to that T shape. You can look down towards your front big toe. Begin to reach across your body. So left hand now towards the right leg, and you pivot as you go down. Hand can rest anywhere on that leg. Right hand eventually reaches up towards the ceiling. Pause here for a couple big breaths. Breathe deeply. As you're here, that right hip's drawing back, left hip presses forward. 2 more big breaths. 1 more. Great job. On your exhale, drop that top hand, soft bend to the front knee. Inhale, both hands sweep up. Exhale, hands come down to frame that front foot. Step it on back, plank pose. Lower yourself down to the mat. Inhale, upward facing dog. Exhale, child's pose. Drop the knees, big toes touch. Sink the hips back to the heels. Pause for a couple big breaths. What a flow there. Take some big breaths, breathe into what we just did. Maybe take a moment to reconnect with your dedication for practice today. Great job. Breathe through the back body to the hips and the legs. Let yourself come back to center. Couple more big breaths. On your next inhale, come on up, tabletop position, hands and knees. Exhale, lower yourself all the way down to rest on your belly. You can stack the palms one on top of another and rest your forehead down on the ground for a couple big breaths. As you're here, continue to feel the breath flow in and out of your body. Allow your mind to center back within if it's drifted away. Whenever your next inhale rises, gently lift your head up off your hands And then exhale, bring the hands under the shoulders, elbows squeeze in by the sides. Inhale, gently peel your heart up. Keep the feet pressing down on the mat. We're gonna pause here in low cobra for a couple big breaths. So you should feel the low back working here, squeezing to keep you lifted, rather than pressing through the hands. So keep those hands light. Really just use the strength of the back body to keep your heart lifted up off the mat. Take one more big breath here. Option to move forward, so you can either stay here or move to Sphinx Pose. If you want to move to Sphinx, there's a tongue twister. If you want to move to Sphinx Pose, we're gonna lower the elbows towards the ground under the shoulders, palms face down. We got there. All right, pause for a couple big minutes here. Press the hands and elbows towards the ground. So you're gonna feel the chest lift, and then press the tops of the toes down towards the mat as well. Kneecaps lift up towards the hips, and then squeeze the glutes, press the hips down. But as you do so, low belly pulls in and up, chest pulls forward. Crown of the head lifts up. A couple more big breaths here. So while this may look like a passive posture, everything's working. It's very active. 2 more big breaths. 1 more. If you want to move 1 step further on your next inhale, seal pose, you lift those elbows up off the mat. Continue to pull that low belly in. Glutes are squeezing, kneecaps lift, tops of the toes press towards the mat. If you want to take it 1 step further, maybe you walk the hands back towards you slightly. If you feel any uncomfortability in the low back, please lower yourself down a bit. Only meet yourself where your body's ready to go today. Relax your jaw, soften the shoulders away from the ears. 1 more big breath wherever you are. When you're ready, follow an exhale to slowly lower yourself out of whichever posture you're in. Stack the palms once more and rest the forehead down on the hands. Pause for a couple moments, just allow your low back to neutralize. Once the low back feels like it's settled a bit, maybe you begin to rock those hips side to side. Just relaxing, relieving the low back slightly. Eventually, feel free to lift the feet up off the ground, bending the knees, and allow the feet to drop side to side in windshield wiper leg motions. Again, we're just adding gentle movements to release the low back, the spine a bit. Find your way back to your breath if your mind has wandered away. Breathe deeply. And eventually lower the feet back towards the mat. If they are lifted, take your time though. On your next inhale, gently lift the head up off the hands, and we're simply going to flip on over our right side to lay on our back. So just kind of give yourself a nice little roll over. And we'll meet up laying down on the back body. Once you get to resting on your back, gently hug the knees in towards you, wrap your arms around the legs, and give yourself a little rock side to side. If you prefer to just stay still, feel free to do so. If you are rocking side to side, press the low back into the mat as you rock. So again, we're continuing to relieve the low back a bit after those back bends. Breathe deeply, stay in the body, notice where you're at. Bring your awareness to within, feel the breath. Whenever your next exhale arises, straighten the legs down towards the mat. Inhale, reach your hands up overhead, and then grasp your right hand around the left wrist, just like we did in the beginning of class. Big breath in here, and then on your exhale, begin to banana your body, so peel on over toward the right-hand side. So just like we did that standing stretch, we're pulling our body on over toward the right-hand side, stretching towards the side, laying down now. If you want a little bit deeper of a stretch, you're going to lift your left foot up off the mat and then cross your left ankle over the right ankle. So that'll instantly exaggerate the stretch all the way to the side of your leg and the side torso. Take a couple big breaths, breathe here, notice what you feel. Inhales, bring in space, and exhales, release anything that no longer serves you. Relax the jaw, soften your gaze, maybe even close the eyes. Beautiful. On your next inhale, if your legs are crossed, uncross them, and then come back to center. Exhale once you get there. Inhale, this time left hand grasps around the right wrist, and then exhale, peel on over toward the left hand side. Once you get here, pause for a moment or two, and you decide if you want to take the stretch to the next step. If you do, then you'll inhale to lift the right foot up off the ground. Exhale, cross the right ankle over the left. And again, you should get just a slightly deeper stretch when you do so, almost making a half moon shape or a banana peel shape with your body here. Breathe to the right side body, relax your jaw. Again, allow yourself to just kind of melt into the shape. Couple more big breaths here. On your next inhale, if your legs are crossed, gently uncross them and then come back to center with the torso and hands. Exhale, bring the hands down by your sides. So your choice, if there's any other postures you want to take before Shavasana, feel free to do so. If you want to throw in a happy baby, Baddha-Konasana, anything that you want to get in for practice today, feel free to move how it feels good for you. If you are ready for Shavasana, then by all means, find your way to a comfy resting position. If you're still flowing, please take all the time that you need and only meet up in Shavasana when you're ready. If you've made your way towards your final resting position, Shavasana, then gently draw your eyes closed. Take the next couple moments to simply invite in a soft, easy, a relaxed state to your mind, to your body, to the space all around and within you. Begin to relax your body even further, starting by softening the crown of your head. Relax your forehead. Soften the eyebrows. Allow the eyes to sink back towards the skull. Soften your temples, the cheekbones. Relax the jaw. Allow the lips to soften along with the teeth, and gently float the tongue down away from the roof of your mouth. Soften your ears and allow the back of the head to melt towards the ground beneath you. Relax the scalp. Soften the neck. Allow the throat to open. Relax the shoulder blades towards the ground beneath you, feeling the chest open as the shoulders drop towards the ground. Soften the upper arms and the elbows. Relax the lower arms and the wrists. Soften the hands, allowing the fingers to naturally curl inwards. And relax your chest, softening the space around your heart. Relax the rib cage and the belly. Soften the right side of the torso. Relax the left side of your torso. Allow the back body to melt down towards the mat. Every vertebra softens all the way down to the low back. Relax the glutes, the hips. Soften the pelvic region. And relax the upper legs and the knees. Soften the lower legs and the ankles. Relax the feet, allowing every toe to get a little bit lighter. Notice if you're holding on anywhere else in your body, and simply let it go. Imagine as though your body is a vessel for the breath. Imagine that the body is empty. Let go of all the muscles, bones, cells, fibers of your beings and the mind as well. Imagine that the body is an empty cavity, that sole purpose is to hold the breath. Allow the body to breathe itself naturally, and allow the mind to continue to melt away with every breath the body takes. For the next couple of moments, allow yourself to keep drifting away, to simply rest in this space, allowing your body to soak in the goodness of your practice today. Gently begin to invite the awareness back in towards your body. Maybe you deepen the breath or add subtle movements to the toes, the fingers, the wrists and ankles. And only when you feel ready to move, gently roll over to either side and pause to rest in a fetal position. Again, take your time. Only when you feel ready, gently press yourself all the way up to seated, keeping the eyes softly closed as you move. And we'll eventually meet up seated with palms touching at heart center and the eyes gently drawn close. Take a couple moments to consciously realize how you feel right now. Draw your awareness to your mind, your headspace. Just observe how the mind feels. Notice the qualities of your mind. Simply be with it. What word describes your mind right now? Draw your awareness to your body. Notice how it feels. What word describes the state of your body? Eventually tune into your emotional well-being. What emotion do you feel right now? Gently give yourself a big smile and really thank yourself for showing up here today. Thank your body for all it does as we move through that fiery flow. Thank yourself for dedicating your time to your health, your wellness, your well-being, your practice. And also thank yourself for the dedication that you made, and imagine sending your energy that you've cultivated to that. And thank you so very much for sharing your beautiful energy and practice with me and everybody who joined in here today. The light in me honors the light in you. Namaste.